I can see the stars align.
Hey Lions, welcome back to another episode of Lionhearted Conversations in the Lion's Pride. Thank you so much for joining me today, and if you are new, welcome. I am your host, Precious Leone, a certified life coach, wellness enthusiast, and the founder of the Lion's Pride, which is a safe space for us to learn, heal, and grow our minds, bodies, and souls so that we can be the best lions that we can be. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and share with your fellow lions so that they know where we are having these lion-hearted conversations. And before I dive too far in, go ahead and grab your tea, coffee, whatever you prefer, and let's get into it. In our last conversation, we talked about trusting and embracing the process. In today's conversation, I would like to address celebrating our wins. It has become very apparent to me that I am my own worst critic and sometimes my biggest hater. I have a tendency to look at all of the negatives or all of the things I could have done better when it comes to my process or my journey, and instead of embracing the fact that I have the courage to do it or the will to be the best version of myself, I always look at all the work I still have to do and all of the areas in which I could have improved. And while striving to be our best and knowing that there's always room for growth can be a good thing, it becomes very toxic and almost counterproductive when you are trying to put yourself out there and you are trying to strive for something, right? And so I had this realization because, for many reasons, but recently I had a speaking contest. If you didn't know, I'm a part of Toastmasters International. It is a public speaking organization, but it really just focuses on improving our leadership and communication skills. And I had a contest over the weekend that I was involved in, and I wasn't prepared, which I want to say is my fault, but see, already there, I'm pointing out what I did wrong. Now, the problem was I wasn't connected to my speech from the beginning, so I ended up writing my speech the night before the contest. I didn't leave any room for preparation. And so going into it, I didn't really have any desire to win per se. Of course, we tell ourselves that so that when we lose, we don't feel bad. But I really just wanted to do it because I knew that this is a part of my journey towards not being afraid of speaking publicly. There are parts of my desires or my dreams for my future that require me to do things like this, to put myself out there. And so that was the ultimate win. The fact that I had put myself in this contest, the fact that I didn't drop out last minute because there were various times where I wanted to, and that I stuck the course. And so all of that I should be proud of, which in the grand scheme I am. But when I finished my speech and I realized that I had blanked and just kind of did what I could in that moment, I felt defeated because I knew the speech that I wrote was chef's kiss. Like, not to toot my own horn, but I felt very connected to it by that point. I felt like it could have touched other people, but because one, I didn't use my notes, and two, I blanked and forgot a lot of it, I couldn't say the key points that I wanted to necessarily. And so I literally had a mental breakdown, and I'm gonna insert the clip after just so you guys could see, but I broke down and I felt defeated. I felt like I failed myself in some way. I could have done better. I could have said things better, and that like I had lost immediately, which in the grand scheme of things, yes, I did lose, but that wasn't the point. The point was I lost within myself because I felt like I could have done better. Now, afterwards, I had so many people who came to me and said, "You did amazing." I couldn't even tell, like, I told them that I blanked and that I didn't do the best that I could have done. And they said, "You did a great job. Like, you connected with your audience. I couldn't tell." And although they were telling me these things, I still couldn't find it in myself in that moment to embrace the fact that I had finished the contest. That was the goal. And that is a win in and of itself. But because I didn't do it perfectly, and that's the key point there, perfection is something I've always struggled with, I didn't feel good within myself. But then I really sat there and I thought about it. Like, girl, you just wrote your speech the night before. You had less than 24 hours to prepare. 2, you did it without notes. There were people who were in this contest who have been in this organization. Mind you, I've been in this organization for less than 2 years. I'm the president of the club. This is the second officer role I've held. And this is the second speech contest I've done. Not to mind you, the first speech contest, I won the area level. So it's like, why is it that whenever I do something and it's not done perfectly, that I beat myself up? That is the question that I've been holding on to. Why is it that I don't give myself my flowers and I don't embrace my journey and I don't celebrate my wins? And it goes back to the fact that I feel like until I do something that's monumental, I will never feel like what I do is good enough. And then it became apparent, like, me feeling like I need to have this ultimate success or these big wins. One, what gets us there is the small wins, the small, consistent steps towards something great. Like, you don't just get there overnight. And people who do, that is rare, okay? But the small steps that we take towards our ultimate goals is what gets us to our ultimate goals. And so trying to by beating myself up into being my greatest self, that is again counterproductive. I won't even feel good once I get there because I didn't allow myself to embrace every moment to that moment. You know what I mean? And it's very much a means to an end that once you win that big win, you're still going to be dissatisfied because then you're going to set an even higher goal to achieve. And so I'm really trying to get it into my head that these little steps are monumental. They're huge because I'm not where I started. Like, the whole reason why I joined Toastmasters was because as a child, I was terrified of public speaking. Like, petrified. I literally hated being in front of people. And now I have a platform that I share myself so confidently. If you look at my videos in the first 2 years of the Lion's Den, which was the Lion's Den back then, I was very reserved, very shy. And there were moments where my personality tried to shine and peak, but I was so in my head of like saying the wrong thing and messing up and being ridiculed that I didn't give myself the space to really express myself. And so now that I am growing and evolving and I have this organization that has helped me tremendously and this platform that has helped me more than I could ever express, like, that is a win. I'm not where I started. And so speaking of my journey here with this platform, I have struggled because you guys are a part of this, 3-year anniversary is coming up on March 13th. And I specifically did this video during this time because for the last several weeks, I've been really thinking about this. Like, there was a goal I wanted to achieve by our 3-year mark, and I'm not there. The goal was to reach 1,000 followers on any of my platforms. Totaling, like across all 3, I probably have a little over 1,000, but my goal was to hit 1,000 on a platform. And I don't have that. And I feel like I'm projecting my insecurities and expectations on everyone around me, and I feel like other people see that. Like, I feel like I should be farther along in my journey with this platform and with my content creation, that I'm like, other people are thinking the same way about me, and how could I feel proud of myself when I'm not there? But then again, I look at myself and I'm like, I'm nowhere near where I started. And my whole intention behind starting this platform wasn't about gaining followers, ever. It wasn't about having this huge community of supporters where I have a certain amount of likes and views and whatnot. That was never the goal. The goal was for me to come on here, share my story, so that other people felt inspired to embrace their own or share their own. And there have been so many people around me who have both said that I have inspired them or have shared the impact that I've had on them. And I realized that that has to be enough. That is a win in and of itself. Because I could have quit a long time ago. There were many times where I wanted to quit. There are many times where I couldn't figure it out. I'm still in the process of trying to figure out who I am. And something that is really big for me as I am going through this is that my biggest prize is the fact that I'm vulnerable in this journey with you guys. I'm very transparent. And there are times where I look at myself like, girl, are you okay? Like, you're sharing way too much. But it's like, no. That is the point of me creating this platform, was to share my wins, my losses, the downs, the lows, the highs, the excitement, the fear. Like, that was the point of being here. I said that this is a jungle. This life that we are journeying through is a jungle. And that has all of these elements. And why would I not share them? Like, my whole idea or purpose is that I want people to normalize their experience. I've said it before and I will keep saying it. I did not feel comfortable in my own experience until I started talking about it. There were parts of myself that I was ashamed about. There were parts of my story that I was never willing to share until I started talking about it. And so it's like, me being here today, having this conversation with you is a win. And I really want to encourage you all to celebrate your wins. No matter where you are, no matter how much time it takes you, it's not about having these grand experiences. It's all the little steps that it took you to get to where you are today. And I am nowhere near where I started. I don't know how many times I could say that, but like, if you guys were to go back to my first videos, nowhere near. My quality has changed. The way that I edit has changed. The way that I express myself has changed. The way that I show up on camera has changed. And so, regardless of how many followers I have, how many views, likes, whatever, I don't care anymore, because I know that my journey is different than other people's. I'm not someone who's going to have overnight success. I'm someone who is going to have to do the work, and is going to have to make connections, and is going to have to go through all of the parts of evolution. That means all the highs and lows in order to get to where I need to be. Not where I want to be, where I need to be. And I'm exactly where I need to be today. And so, before it comes, I'd just like to say happy 3-year birthday to my Lions Pride family. I'm so grateful to be here today, to be able to share my journey and growth and evolution with you guys, to be able to share my experiences with you guys, and to heal and to grow and to learn and all that good stuff, because I know that today I'm the best Lion I could be today. And I do not have to keep striving for something. I just have to embrace the process and celebrate my wins along the way. That was a bar, and I didn't even mean it to be. But you know, I'm a rapper. Thank you guys so much for joining and for tuning in to today's Lionhearted conversation. I feel like I spit that out, but it was heavy on my heart, and so I really pray that you were able to receive everything that I said and that you have some type of confirmation in your own journey that you are exactly where you need to be. You may not be where you want to be, but you are where you need to be. And that's all that ever matters, okay? Embrace that. Embrace who you are in this moment. Embrace every step that you take because it is leading you somewhere, okay? And it doesn't have to be big to scale or large, and it doesn't have to be based on what everyone says it should be for you, okay? Embrace your journey. I love you guys so much. If you enjoyed today's Lionhearted conversation, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. And I will see you guys next time. Be easy.